What's the most expensive thing you bought recently? A college education for my kids. We're $60,000 in the hole on it. And we're just halfway through. To be clear, we as parents are not getting a degree, but we are being asked to take on most of the debt. This is for 2 kids at an in-state school with scholarships for good grades. And they're staying in crummy dorms. I don't see how this is sustainable. We will be paying $1,000 a month till we retire so our kids can have a career. And if something goes wrong and they don't finish the degree, then this would be a crushing debt for basically nothing. I live in South Africa. 2 or 4 hour blackouts happen here regularly, at times. We can be 12 hours without power per day when it gets really bad. It's not consecutive, but every 6 to 8 hours. Depending on the load on the power grid. So I just bought a 5 kilowatts inverter that cost me $1,725, including installation, but excluding batteries. Still have to buy batteries later this year. But a family member is lending me a spare until then. The battery will cost me another $1,200 in December. We're leaking money right now. It feels like $1,300 and a new dishwasher $500 were the most recent. But the other car needs $1,000 soon. We need to buy tires for a family member's car and some expensive drainage repairs to our rental property. That last one I don't mind doing. I don't care if our house needs some work. I want my tenants living in a fully functioning house as much as possible. The dishwasher is for them, too. Breast cancer surgery for my fiance's 10-year dog. The doc said that the tumors would be easy to remove and the procedure would be very simple. And it put me out for grand though. Apparently pet insurance is a thing. And I regret not having it. But I got on like a pet care payment plan, so it was just $1,000 down. This year we've really been testing the limitations on whether or not our household can withstand a $500 emergency. A suit. $600. One of my soldiers killed himself after losing a battle with depression. I purchased it in order to honor the attire request of the family for the funeral service. On that note, check on your friends, people. You never know what they're going through. And sometimes people think they have to suffer in silence. They don't. And sometimes all they need to start steering toward better mental health is a good friend. 19.77 with shipping for a used copy of European Medieval Tactics Won the Fall and Rise of Cavalry 450, 1260. By David Nicol. Relatively thin, but insightful. I'm not making big purchases compared to some in this thread. Obviously, it would have been more if it was new. That mine has a crease on the upper right-hand corner of the cover. So it was discounted somewhat. Outside of car repair. The part itself was probably $209, but everything else was $600. Probably my mattress topper. It was $1,000 used, but I sleep so much better. Wow. I'm a hot sleeper, so having an actively cooler mattress topper is a game changer. It's the 8 Sleep Matters topper. That was in 2023. Everything else is just $20, 60 things which adds up. How recently? 3 years ago my house. Last summer a trip for 2 to Switzerland, France. Last November a 3D printer and sun jewelry for my wife. Last December plane tickets for 6 to Hawaii. Last month more jewelry for my wife. And 6 more plane tickets to Florida. Extra OOB. Other than my house I think everything was between $1,000 $6,000. Hearing aids. After years of wife telling me I need them. Finally was convinced and got them for her Christmas present. It was that big of a deal for her. She would ask me a question and I would answer. Why do you want me to put the cat in the garbage disposal? We don't even have a cat. They were $5,500. Glad I have them now. Cherokee Grey Wolf travel trailer. Been using this beat-up old camper from the 70s that's always been midway through one fix-up or another, so going new has been huge change-up. We just got it in the fall, so only had a chance to use it for the hunting season. Really look forward to having you full use of it next summer. Wife had a total colectomy a couple weeks ago because of ulcerative colitis. She's been waiting to get on disability for 3 years, but SSA is backed up. And there is no end in sight, so I just paid for that. Good news, We met our OP Max in January. Bad news. I owe our OP Max to doctors in February. I don't really have much disposable income right now. I only been buying things that are necessary to me, minors. Maybe a meal out once a week or so. Biggest purchase recently were parts to replace the brakes on my car myself, so I could save money. Next I have to buy tires, which I'm not looking forward to. Ignis Pixel double staffs. For performance and flow arts. They have the highest definition of for any LED pixel props. They look absolutely amazing. And I'm super pleased with them. 10/10 if y'all can afford them. Total showstopper $1,600 for 2 batons. They do break down into 2 sets of po though. A fuck ton of Southern soul food for just me and my GF. We got fried okra, cornbread, mashed potatoes, mushroom gravy, brisket burn hens, rabbit stew, and jambalaya. We were gonna get dessert too, but figured that was more than enough. It was pricey, but worth every damn penny. I bought a fancy watch as a present to myself after getting a big promotion at work I've been working on for years. It's changing my family's future, and I'd been talking about doing it for so long that when it actually happened, my wife actually encouraged me to spend the cash on it. I bought a fancy watch as a present to myself after getting a big promotion at work I've been working on for years. It's changing my family's future, and I'd been talking about doing it for so long that when it actually happened, my wife actually encouraged me to spend the cash on it. A new electric guitar, APR SA Custom 2408 specifically, about $1,250 and converted to USD. That I only had for electrics before, and I am in the process of building another one myself, so it was obviously an absolutely necessary, unavoidable and justifiable purchase. A $280 expansion to a board game. It isn't anywhere near all of it too, just more. My kids and I play a board game called Too Many Bones together. They love it. The game takes like 5 hours to play. They jump around and reenact their battles in real time. Worth it. A new engine for my girlfriend's van. And then right before that, new brakes for my car. It was like a joke. Except jokes are usually funny. Check, engine light comes on and my shit starts grinding. Just as my paycheck with all the holiday and OT pay on it shows up. Not the most expensive, but I just paid $1,400 for 4 PLC batteries that are essentially just a battery-sized lithium cells with less than 50 cents of material in them. Goddamn Alan Bradley, man. They are worse than printer companies selling ink cartridges. A few new rugs. My wife and I have lived in our house for almost 3 years now, and finally decided to buy nice rugs for each door. No more small little doormats from Target now. We had these really big and fluffy ones from this fancy rug store up the street. Diamond earrings for my mother. That you can't buy diamonds for yourself, as a tradition, that no one has ever given her diamonds as a gift. So when I grew up and started earning money, I bought her earrings. She cried with happiness. Just shelled out $3,800 or so for repairs on my son's car. Broken sway bar, for new tires, new wheel bearing, and a bunch of minor stuff. Some of it is related to an accident my husband had in it several years ago, so that's why we're paying. A Yoda YS6 for OS competition smoker. It was a spur-the-moment decision, but one that I do not regret at all. $3,600 all in. Specialized gravel bike 3.5K. But my car gets a new stuff next month, so there's another 4,500 gone. End of the year, maybe mid next year if it doesn't go well, or no decent car is available. I want to get a Mustang for 30-40K. I got one of those new fancy combo unit washer dryers with the heat pump. I will never go back to having a separate washer and dryer. It's just so easy to throw my stuff in, go to bed, walk up, and it's done. A second knee surgery TPLO for my dog within 7 months. Unfortunately, Nationwide does not cover TPLO until after 12 months of signing up for its pet insurance. Once bitten, twice shy of 5 months. Yesterday I bought a new Ford Bronco Sport Badlands. I got some money from an accident injury settlement, and I saved up and paid cash for it. I'm middle-aged, and I have never owned a new car before. cancer surgery and treatment. But it happened at the very end of the year, so most of it was after my out-of-pocket max was hit. Thank God. Otherwise, it would be a $1,200 mattress and box spring set. Car repair. No car payment, but a $6 seal was leaking in the rear end at the wheel. Brakes, parking brake cables, bearings, and a diff flush later. That $6 seal was $1,300. Edit seal. I replaced the brakes on my mountain bike recently. They ran about what two wheels on my car would have. I use the bike for coaching, so at least I can justify the price as a work expense. Concert tickets and flights. I'm supposed to be saving for a car. And I really love the band and they need support. Thought I could get everything for under $500, but I'm already up to $700. I bought a house, not that. I bought a deck railing and a glass door for $10,000 each. I finance it like a car. I don't really go anywhere or want a cool car though. I want a sweet deck. Torque wrench. My cheapo one stopped working and gave me a moment of clarity that I shouldn't be cheaping out on. A tool that makes sure my wheels stay on my car. Splurged on a $450 one. A ready-to-race mini ZRC car. Rechargeable AA batteries with charger and storage case. 2 extra bodies, with one being limited edition, and an Apache Hobo freight case to store all of it. Bought a 48-inch old gaming monitor a few days ago. Even at 50% off, it still was pretty expensive. The most expensive thing I've bought recently, aside from paying my rent law.